Ajay Bagga is now joining us on the phone line. Ajay, with the sort of recovery that we have seen in the market, what do you believe? Markets live through all the events?
Yeah, I think it's very impressive, Pankaj. In the morning, if you had asked me where would the market stand, I don't think anyone would have had the courage. So now what the market is showing that whoever bought in the first 15-20 minutes made a good pile of money with this kind of a recovery. So markets have gone back to looking at fundamentals. They have discounted the sentimental fear that was engendered in the morning with a Trump victory, which looked possible in the morning and which got realized during the day. And the markets are back to fundamentals. The Indian macros, the Indian growth story, I think all those are getting bid up again. And markets are showing a smart recovery from the low points in the morning.
Just wanted to know about the pharma stocks. Do you think that that's a space where investors are trying to hide, and that's why something like a Dr. Reddy's is up 6, a Sun Pharma is up 4, and also, Clinton winning the US presidential election, or rather, earlier saying about the drug pricing, that was a big concern?
I think that was the bigger concern, Pankaj. So there is some relief rally in pharma that a Clinton presidency, because she had taken such a public stance on the pharma pricing, there was an expectation that there would be very aggressive follow-through on the DOJ matter on pricing as well as on overall pharma pricing, both for generics as well as branded. So we are seeing more of a sentimental boost, and pharma is getting bought into today more as a bounce back from relief from the lack of a Clinton presidency.
Right. If there was a long-term investor, it'll really come in as a relief for them in the pharma pack, right? And that's why, we are just seeing this relief coming in.
Yes, absolutely. It's more that probably we had seen too much of overselling in the pharma space, and a lot of pessimism was baked in that Clinton is coming in, and one of her first acts would be an attack on the pharma pricing, because that has been something which she has been very publicly talking about. And now with a more practical and corporate-oriented Trump and a Republican president, I think that is getting discounted out.
Right. As far as the overnight news here in India is concerned about the black money crackdown, do you think that in the long run for the markets would be very, very good? Organized sectors, companies which are efficient, would tend to emerge as big leaders?
Yeah, and immediately I think the bank CASA will start going up from tomorrow itself. As all households, overall, Pankaj, 17 lakh crores of currency in circulation, and about 14 lakh crores would be the 500 and 1,000 rupee notes. Now, quite a bit of it might be unaccounted money which is stashed away, but there's a lot of emergency cash that a lot of people are holding, as well as very, low salary earners as well. Yesterday, I was meeting so many people, even in office, who were short of the 100 rupee notes. Today, driving on the ceiling, it took me about half an hour, even though I had a tag on the car. But there were such big lines. So everybody has been caught by surprise. And nearly every single household in urban India and a lot of the rural households would have accounted 500 and 1,000 rupee money lying around, which they will go and deposit in their bank. So bank CASA is going to go up by anything like 4 to 5 lakh crores at the least. And that will, really boost the bank's NIMs. So that's one positive that I see clearly. Second is unorganized sector getting squeezed out and being brought in more. The business models will have to change more into declaration. Third, the cash will just not be available. So there will be a squeeze on the luxury items, on gold and gems, on sectors like film financing, real estate, agricultural land purchases. I think all those will get squeezed. But the flip side is a lot more money will come into productive parts of the economy, and business models will change of traditional companies which never used to have a mechanism to accept electronic payments or payments through credit cards. So I think all those will start getting set up, and it will boost the money velocity. It will allow the money multiplier to work on a larger portion of this currency which was being held and which was unproductive so far. So overall positive, Pankaj, right. Not even long term. I think in a quarter you will start seeing the results of this.
Right. Just wanted a follow-up on the banks that, how big a problem would be the NPA, LAP financing, probably a little bit of retail financing, but all those will just be near-term hiccups which most of these banks would overcome, or maybe NBFCs as well?
Yes. There is going to be a hit to the unaccounted portion of money which was being held up. There is panic in the market on, and that you are seeing with the public pronouncements, even by the political parties, who are probably the biggest holders of this kind of funds. So I would say there will be an impact, especially on NBFCs with LAP portfolios, if their borrowers are, hamstrung in terms of liquidity flows, in terms of their business models changing. I think in the short term you could see some tightness. And as against that, I'm really expecting that RBI comes in, pushing liquidity into the system. And secondly, RBI comes in with a rate cut in early December in its policy. I think those two moves can come in, which should boost market sentiment. Overall, government has shown a very bold reform, which is taking short-term pain for long-term gains. I think it's a very positive reform, takes a lot of guts for an elected government to take a stance like this. With across political spectrum, bureaucratic spectrum, this will be silently criticized. But, all law-abiding citizens need to stand with the government, take this pain, and, make sure that this measure becomes a success, which it looks like. Again, it goes back to, Pankaj, remember when Badla was banned, when DMAT was introduced, everybody said end of our stock markets, this, that. Markets emerged so much stronger, so much better, and today we have such efficient markets with T+2 kind of settlements, synchronized settlements. All that happened after taking that short-term poison pill of banning those badlas and stock markets which used to settle on various days of the week and positions used to move around. I think bringing it all into the productive sector, into the accounted sector, increases your tax to GDP, increases the overall turnover of the country, increases the stated turnover of companies, and brings a lot more people to enjoy financial inclusion in the ultimate analysis. So I would look at it as a host of positives. Short-term pain, definitely there.